not even close. Why in the world would you buy a Henley for $150 when you can get a perfectly good one for $20? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why it may be worth it. Hello and welcome, I'm Carl Murawski. This is an installment in a series in which I like to call Good, Better, Best, so I can kind of show you the differences between several tiers of the same type of product. Now, the Henley shirt began as underwear in the 19th century, but eventually gained popularity in the English town Henley-on-Thames. It was here that rowers adopted the shirt and it became the standard rowing uniform. The Henley remained as sportswear until Ralph Lauren brought it to the fashion world in the 1970s. These days, the Henley could stand in for your t-shirt with some added ventilation, or as a layering piece beneath a heavier shirt. You can find them in both long and short sleeve varieties, usually made from cotton, but wool and synthetic variants are available. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Magic Spoon. They've been a great sponsor in 2022, and last time I misspoke and I said that I was eating a pound of protein per pound of body weight, which I clearly meant 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, but you guys just couldn't let me get away with it, could ya? You know, I gotta say though, actually a lot of the comments were really funny. Well, Magic Spoon cereal has really helped me meet those protein goals every single day, and as a matter of fact, I have a new favorite flavor. This is maple waffle. It's my favorite so far. This is so good. I want this every day. It's awesome. Now, Magic Spoon cereal has 0 grams of sugar, although the honey nut actually has 1 gram just because of the honey. They all have 13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving and only 140 calories per serving. It's gluten-free, keto-friendly, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own variety box and use my code CARLMS for $5 off. You could choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, my favorite maple waffle, blueberry muffin, and cinnamon roll. But wait, Magic Spoon is now adding honey nut to their permanent collection, so be sure to add honey nut to your custom box and give it a try. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link below and use code CARLMS for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/CarlMS to save $5 off your order today, and be sure to add the new honey nut to your custom box. Also, for my Canadian and British friends, Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and the UK. So go and order your custom box today so that you can eat and drink with one hand without looking and keep those protein numbers up. Thank you so much, Magic Spoon. This cereal really is great. Of course, there are a wide variety of Henleys, from Japanese brands, from American brands, and some brands that you can't even tell where they're made, and they're made in different levels of construction. I always recommend getting the best quality that you can. But here is where we kind of see the difference between good quality and paying a lot more for features which you may not care about. Now, in the good category, you'll find Henleys which are only slightly more expensive than the crew neck counterpart. And a lot of times this is where I started, you know, and some of my favorites are from the Gap. They used to be called their lived-in series, which are sort of a more broken and probably just stone-washed version, but I wore these for a long time beneath my flannel shirts. They're great, you can open up the placket, but what you're gonna find here is good to fair finishing. You're gonna find a lot of loose threads if you turn the thing inside out. You won't find flat-filled seams or taping or anything like that. Most of the time, you're gonna find a very basic t-shirt type of Henley. But for a lot of people, this is gonna scratch the Henley itch and be all that you really need. Henleys in this tier are plentiful, especially from fast fashion mall brands like The Gap, Banana Republic, J. Crew, Uniqlo, but you can also find some better ones from LL Bean and Bonobos. Now, the next tier, better, is sort of where I think the sweet spot is for most products, because you get elevated construction quality, but you don't pay a heck of a lot more. A lot of times in the next tier, the best tier, you'll find stuff that is double the price of the things that are in this middle tier. So for me, the Patagonia workwear Henley has metal buttons, great finishing. It's nothing that you're gonna wear out to like a date or something like that, but that's really not its purpose. The American Giant, which seems to really dominate this middle category, is another great option. American-grown cotton, made in the USA, and still coming in around 50 bucks, which is a lot for a shirt, I understand, but when you feel an American Giant piece, you know where that money is going. And again, for me, this seems to be the sweet spot, where you spend a little bit more money, but you definitely get more for your money. And by better, I mean inarguably better material, better finishing, better buttons on the placket. These really are superior to the good category, and until you see one side by side with those, it can be hard to tell, especially on a website or in a catalog. Some Henleys in this middle tier include American Giant and Patagonia Workwear, as I mentioned, but there's also American Apparel, Smartwool, and Grand Frank. And now we come to the best tier. And I put best in air quotes because best can mean different things to different people. If you're talking about sheer durability, this probably isn't what you want to use. You could use something like a $100, $150 Henley to go and do yard work if you're a little crazy. But for me, I think this is really in the luxury category. If you appreciate things like loop wheeling, which is a really cool old school process, if you like mother of pearl buttons on the placket, if you like an extreme attention to detail and finishing, which is on par with like the best suiting in the world, well then this is what you could get. The only Henley that I own from this tier is from Stevenson Overall Company, and it is quite a piece. It really is. That being said, I'm very careful about where I wear it. Have a look at those sleeve cuffs. They're tubular knit with no seams and flat lock stitching. The fabric changes directions on the shoulders for increased mobility. There's upgraded buttons, more daring designs, and small factories where you could learn everybody's name in a few minutes. The Henleys in this category are pure luxury with no expense spared to create Henleys which truly have no equal. Some options in this best tier would come from places like Freenote Cloth, Homespun, Mersby Schwanen, Shuttle Notes, and of course the one I have here, Stevenson Overall Company. Something that's kind of revealed itself to me through doing this good, better, best series is that you really have to consider your end use before you go ahead and make a purchase. If you're watching this and you're going, what's the best Henley for work? Well, then something from the good or the better category is definitely for you. I think that you would be disappointed if you spent $100 or $150 on a Henley and then expected it to just last a lot longer. That's not what they're for. Durability and finishing and, the exclusivity of the material, it's totally different. What it seems to be is that the good category is a great place to get started to see if you like a particular style. Maybe you've never had a Henley before, you want to see if it's for you and you really don't want to spend a lot of money. That's where that is a good place to start. Or if you're just going to beat the hell out of them and you need something that's relatively cheap that you could just kind of go through, that's where that is good. If you know that that style works for you and you want something that's a little bit better than the mall brand kind of stuff, the better category is where it's at. Like I said, the Patagonia Workwear, American Giant, that type of thing, they will last a lot longer. They definitely feel better. They're finished in a way which is superior to the good series. To me, that's where the real value is you could get a very decent piece there. However, if you're into the artistry, if you want something that is truly unique, something that really has no equal, that's where this luxury top tier is. And most of the time, like I said, it's double the price of that better tier. Is it actually better? Depends on your use. So good, better, best is somewhat subjective and it's really going to depend on the end user. That's up to you to decide. Hopefully I've provided you with some good options here so you can go ahead and get your next Henley and not be disappointed or possibly upgrade from where you are. And if you want to see more of the Good, Better, Best series, I have a whole playlist that I've created right here. You can see more in this series if you would like, where I compare more products and stuff like that. If you want to check it out, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.